Madison Carter stepped closer to the officer, her gaze unwavering. What seemed like a simple scene was hiding an unexpected truth. When the officer told her to leave, no one knew that she was the governor of the state. Could this woman stand up to the injustice unfolding before her? This story didn't just change a moment. It was a reminder of justice and the power every citizen holds. If you believe in the strength of justice, don't miss this story. In the heart of a bustling street, a young black teen stood frozen by his car, his face etched with fear as two officers blocked his path, their eyes fixed on him amidst the crowd. Madison Carter, dressed simply in jeans and a jacket, watched from a distance, memories of her father's unyielding fight for justice surfacing in her mind. She stepped forward, her thoughts racing, a fierce determination building with every step. "Step back, ma'am," Officer Daniels snapped, his voice sharp, cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. But Madison stood firm, her eyes locked on him. "Explain your actions," she demanded, her voice calm but resolute, drawing the attention of those around them. Officer Daniels' discomfort flared, his authority wavering. Tension in the air thickened as whispers rippled through the crowd. "Is that the governor?" a woman asked, raising her phone to snap a picture of Madison. The news spread like wildfire, and the crowd buzzed, eyes widening in surprise. Daniels froze, his confidence slipping as he realized his mistake. But Madison remained focused, her gaze fixed on the trembling teen. The air around them was taut with tension, whispers and camera clicks filling the space as all eyes were now on the officer's next move. The crowd waited, silent, expectant. The young man stood there, hands trembling, his voice barely audible over the noise of the crowd. Madison felt a surge of anger rise within her, not just at the officer's actions, but at the crushing fear the boy was carrying. Daniels stood his ground, his voice steely as he dismissed her question. "I told you, step back. This is none of your business." Madison's heart pounded, but her voice remained steady. "It became my business when you chose to arrest him without cause." Her words cut through the tension like a blade. Eyes shifted to her, phones raised higher, whispers echoing, "Is it her, the governor?" But Madison didn't break her gaze from the officer. Her calm exterior masked the storm inside, a fury and resolve driving every word she spoke. "Why did you arrest him?" she asked again, louder this time. Daniels hesitated, his confidence faltering under the crowd's watchful eyes. "Suspicious behavior," he mumbled, avoiding her gaze. Madison took another step forward, never breaking eye contact. "Suspicious behavior?" she repeated, her voice dripping with doubt. "Since when does standing by your own car become suspicious behavior? Did you find anything? Any evidence of a crime?" Silence enveloped the scene, broken only by the shallow breaths of the trembling teenager. Tension reached its peak when a woman in the crowd shouted, "She's the governor!" Those words struck the air like a lightning bolt. Daniels turned away, his face flushing crimson as the crowd erupted in murmurs, each person confirming what they had just heard. Madison seized the moment, pulling out her ID and holding it high. The murmurs turned to sharp questions and accusations. Daniels clenched his jaw as he stared at the ID, the authority he clung to crumbling by the second. She pressed forward, determined to escalate the moment. "Explain yourself to everyone here," she demanded, her voice cutting through the commotion. "Why did you target this young man without cause? What made him so threatening that you felt the need to humiliate him in public?" Her words ignited the crowd further, their collective anger now squarely aimed at the officer. Daniels began to falter, his voice trembling as he said, "We received a report of a theft." He matched the description, but his words lacked conviction, the confidence from moments ago now entirely gone. Finally, the young man spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "I was just looking for my keys. They fell onto the seat." His statement landed like a slap, exposing the officer's actions and further inflaming the crowd's outrage. Madison stepped closer to Daniels, her presence commanding despite her calm demeanor. "So now you're handcuffing teenagers for losing their keys?" she asked, her voice sharp. "Or is it because he's black?" Before Daniels could respond, another patrol car pulled up. Sergeant Hayes stepped out, his expression shifting when he recognized Madison. "Governor," he greeted cautiously, immediately sensing the gravity of the situation. "I apologize for this misunderstanding," he offered, though the unease in his eyes was unmistakable. "Release him," Hayes ordered, cutting off Daniel's attempt to protest. The click of the handcuffs being removed was met with a collective sigh of relief from the crowd, followed by an eruption of applause. But Madison wasn't done. She turned to Hayes, her gaze unyielding. "This isn't just a misunderstanding. This is the failure of an entire system, and it ends here." The crowd roared, their cheers of agreement ringing out. Daniel stood frozen, his face pale as the weight of the situation settled in. Meanwhile, social media was already ablaze, videos of the confrontation spreading like wildfire. Reporters scrambled to capture every moment as Madison faced the officers one last time. "By tomorrow morning," she declared, her voice firm, "I expect a full report on every action taken here today, along with preparations for an independent review of your department." Hayes nodded solemnly, the gravity of her words visibly heavy on him. The teenager, now freed, approached Madison hesitantly. His hands were still trembling, but his voice was sincere. "Thank you," he said softly, the emotion in his words clear. Madison placed a steady hand on his shoulder, her expression softening for the first time. "You're safe now," she assured him, but added, "But this fight isn't over." The crowd erupted once more in support as Madison turned back to face the officers, her resolve unshaken. Daniel stood on the sidelines, his phone vibrating incessantly, each notification another nail in the coffin of his authority. The scene around him had shifted, and Madison Carter had made it clear that change wasn't just coming, it had arrived. As the crowd slowly dispersed, their energy lingered in the air, an unspoken promise of transformation yet to come. Madison watched silently as the teenager reunited with his family. His smile, small but significant, carried a glimmer of hope, hope that someone had stood up for him when it mattered most. That smile was a poignant reminder of why Madison had chosen this path, why she had fought to lead with conviction and empathy. The weight of the moment settled heavily on her shoulders. This wasn't just about one boy or one officer. It was about breaking free from a culture of fear and prejudice that had persisted for far too long. As she turned toward her car, her gaze caught her reflection in the rearview mirror. Her father's face appeared in her mind, his teachings echoing like a guiding light. "Justice isn't a destination, it's a journey." Madison drew a deep breath, her resolve solidifying further. Change would not come easily, but today had proven that it was possible. She saw it in the eyes of the crowd, heard it in the applause that still resonated in her ears. This was just the beginning. Steadfast, Madison faced the cameras one final time. "Let this serve as a reminder," she said, her voice calm yet unwavering. "Responsibility is not a choice, it's an obligation. Together, we will build a system where justice is a right, not a privilege." This story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing against injustice, no matter the circumstances. Have you ever witnessed a moment like this? How do you confront oppression and stand up for what's right? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice can inspire others and spark positive change. If you found value in this story, don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones to help spread the message of justice and the power of compassion. Thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. During the content creation process, there may have been some small mistakes, and we hope you'll kindly overlook them. Wishing everyone happiness, peace, and good health in life. Stay tuned for more.